Good morning, Veritas. Today is Thursday, May 7th, 2020. So go under your Google Classroom assignments and you will find these three questions plus the All-Star question, which I will post after in an All-Star Challenge video. So let's get started with number one. It says, which of the following inequalities is true? Now, you might not know what an inequality is, but it's what these are, right? So don't let that word trick you. We talk about this sometimes, is when you get to these challenging words, it's going to happen on a test where you're not going to quite know one of the words. You still got to be able to figure out what to do. So which of the following of these is true? Okay? Doesn't tell us how many to choose, it's just which of the following is true. So we need to check to see which ones are true, if any of them are true. Maybe there's more than one that is true also. So we just got to check really carefully. Okay, so I rewrote them over here very carefully, making sure I had all the digits in the right spot and the correct symbols, but these are the same ones you have. So the tricky part is that's 37 hundredths. It goes 2 places past the decimal point. This one only goes 1 place past the decimal point. So we're going to hold the hundredths place with a 0. There are 0 hundredths there. So now we have 37 hundredths is less than 30 hundredths. 37 hundredths is actually more than 30 hundredths, right? So now that they go to the same place, you look at it as 37 hundredths or 30 hundredths. 37 should be greater. So this symbol should be going that way. So A is not true. We're looking for the ones that are true. Then we have here, this goes to the tenths place for B, 3/10. This goes to the tenths, hundredths, thousandths place. So we're going to put 2 more zeros to go to the hundredths and the thousandths place. Now this says 300 thousandths is greater than 298 thousandths, and that is true. So far we have B being true. Right, now that they go to the same place value, it's 300 in the thousandths place, 300 thousandths, is greater than 298 thousandths. So it's really hard to tell when it's just one digit. You're going to look and say, oh, that's a 3, but that's 3/10, and that's only 2/10. So this one is actually bigger once they go to the same place value. All right? So you could have just looked right here and said, well, 3/10 is more than 2/10. It doesn't matter how many hundredths or thousandths there are, because 3/10 is more than 2/10, and that's the bigger place value, right? But the easiest way I find is to just write it out so that it goes to the same place value, 300 or 298. 300 is bigger to the same place value. Okay, now let's look at the next one. 298 thousandths, because it goes to the tenths, hundredths, thousandths place, is less than 2/10. So looking at it right here, 2/10 and 2/10 are the same. So we got to make this one go to the thousandths place. We got to put 2 more zeros. There's the hundredths place and the thousandths place. Now it says 298 thousandths is less than 200 thousandths, and that is not true, because 298 is more than 200 if they go to the same place value. So this symbol should be going this way. All right, and last one here, we have 2/10 or 3/10. This is saying 2/10 is greater than 3/10. So that's not true, right? You look at the same place value, the tenths place, 3/10 is greater than 2/10, right? And another way of looking at it is if they both go to the hundredths place, the tenths and the hundredths, the tenths and the hundredths, we have 20 hundredths is greater than 37 hundredths, and that is not true. 20 hundredths is less than 37 hundredths, because 37 is bigger than 20, and they go to the same place value. So that one is not true either. So for this one, the only one that is true is B. So B is the correct answer for number 1. All right, those are ones you have to be really careful. Even though you found that B was true, you're not sure if C and D are also true. And it doesn't really tell you if there's only one correct choice. So you really got to just make sure you go through all of them and check to make sure that the others are all not true as well. All right, but give yourself some snaps. You guys are doing a good job. Number 2, I'm just going to warn you right now. Number 2 is hard. This is something that I probably should have put on the All-Star Challenge, but honestly, this was on MCAS, a problem just like this one. So you guys deserve to have a chance to get these really challenging, rigorous problems to try. All right, so just follow along with me. If you got this one wrong, it's okay. This is a pretty tough one. All right, but let's get started. You can do it. Okay, Miss DeLeon needs to buy bags of cement to build a patio. If you don't know what a patio is, doesn't matter. It's something she's building, right? Each bag weighs 80 pounds. She needs a total of 1,250 pounds of cement to build the patio. How many bags of cement does she need to buy? Okay, so I'm going to go back again, read it one more time. Miss DeLeon needs to buy bags of cement to build a patio. So I drew a picture of a patio over here. It's just like a deck, right? And it says she needs 1,250 pounds. Each bag weighs 80 pounds. So then I drew a couple of bags that each weigh 80 pounds. She needs a total of the 1,250 pounds. We already talked about that. I put that in my model. She needs a total of 1,250 pounds. How many bags of cement does she need to buy? So right now I'm going to put on the answer line bags of cement, because that's what the question asked us, how many bags of cement. So my number, that'll just give me a reminder to make sure I gave the number of bags of cement that she needs to buy. All right? So she's building this patio. She needs a total of 1,250 pounds, and each bag that she buys weighs 80 pounds. So if you put one bag in, you could subtract 80 from the total, and that's how much more she'd need left. Then you could put another 80 bag and subtract 80 from what you had left. Then you put another bag, you'd subtract 80 from the total until you get basically down to 0. So that is repeated subtraction. We are taking 80-pound bags and we're subtracting 80 from the total every time you put in a bag. Right? You have 1,250. Then you put in one bag, so you subtract the 80 pounds. Right? So now you have 1,170. Then you put in a second bag. You're going to subtract 80 more pounds. Then when you put in the third bag, you're going to subtract 80 more pounds from the total. So what we are doing here is repeated subtraction. We are basically, what repeated subtraction is division. So we are dividing 1,250, and we're dividing that by 80-pound bags. And our quotient will tell us how many bags we need to buy. All right? So let's start this division. We have 1,250 divided by 80. Now, we haven't done these with a double-digit divisor. So bear with me. This is going to be a little challenging, and I want you to reach out to me if you have a hard time on this. Okay? So basically, let's look at the thousands place. We don't have 80,000, so we can't put 1,000 into each of those groups. So now we're going to look at it as 1,200s. You can't put them, if you took the 1,200s, you would need 80 hundreds for one of them to go into each group, but we only have 12, so we can't even put 100 into each group. So we're not going to need 100 bags. We're going to need some number of 10 bags. All right, so let's look at it as 125. If we had 125, then we could put 1 into each of those groups. If we had 80 groups, we could put 1 of those into each group, but we can't put 2 into each group because we would need 160. Because 80 times 2 is 160, and we don't have 2. We only have enough to put 110 into each group, or we need 110 of bags, okay? So 1 times 80 is 80, and then let's see how much we have left. 5 minus 0, 12 minus 8 is 4. So we have 45 left. 45 tens, because that goes to the tens place. Now we're going to bring down the 0. So what we have left now is 450 pounds, and we're going to break that up into 80 groups, right? So what number times 80 gets you closest to 450? This is when you're just going to have to kind of guess, right? So 100 times 5 would be 500. So I might start by, and since 80 is less than 100, I might start with 5. Okay, and sometimes you guess and you figure out that that's not close. So 80 times 5 is 400. So that means 80 times 6 would be 480, and that would be too much. So it has to be 5. Okay, so 5 times 80 is 400, and we still have a remainder of 50 pounds. okay, which we could turn into a fraction. The remainder becomes the numerator, and the divisor of 80 becomes the denominator. So what we got here is that we need 15 and a little more than another half bags. Okay, if we need a total of 1,250 pounds, and each bag weighs 80 pounds, we need 15 bags, plus we need more than another half of a bag. So here's where this problem became tricky. The answer to the division is 15 and 5/8, because we could divide these both by 10. So we have 50 and 5/8 as our final answer. So she needs 15 bags, 15, and then she needs 5/8 of another bag in order to make her deck. So if she buys 15 bags, she won't have enough because she still needs 5/8 more of a bag. She needs another more than half of a bag, because 4/8 would be half of a bag. So she needs more than another half of a bag. So the answer to this problem, how many bags of cement does she need to buy? If she buys 15, it's not enough. She's still going to need to buy another a little more than a half of a bag. So the answer, even though the division came out to be 15 with the remainder, the answer is 16 bags. Because if she buys 15 bags, she's going to need another half of a bag. She's going to need another 5/8 of a bag. So she needs to buy, how many bags does she need to buy? She needs to buy 16 bags. She won't use all of the 16th bag. She'll still have 3/8 of it left. But if she doesn't buy 16 bags, she's not going to have quite enough cement. She's going to need to buy the 16th bag in order to build her patio. So that's the answer. And give yourself some snaps if you got that. I honestly am doubting that many of you got that, and that's okay. I trust you guys. You guys are doing good work, but that was really pretty tricky. So if you got 15, then great job. The answer is 16, and I hope that you can watch this video again and realize why 15 bags would just not quite have been enough. She needed to buy a 16th bag in order to build the patio. Please let me know if you needed help with that one, or if you're still confused, let me know, and I can try to show you a different way. Okay, last one. We're running out of time in my video, so I'm going to do this one quickly. Find the volume of the rectangular prism. You might not know what a rectangular prism is. It's this. Don't let that trick you, right? This is a rectangular prism. So find the volume. So the formula for volume is what's length times width times height. So they will give you that formula on a test like the MCAS. They give you this when you get the test. It's length times width times height. So you just have to multiply these three numbers. And what we know about multiplication is you can actually multiply it in any order. So it might be easier for you to do 3 times 2 is 6, and then 6 times 12 is 72 centimeters cubed, because we did centimeters times centimeters times centimeters. So we did centimeters times centimeters times centimeters 3 times. That's what cubed means. So that would be the unit. But the answer is 72 centimeters cubed, because there are 3 numbers that we had to multiply together. 72 is the volume of that. Okay, what we did was 2 times 3 is 6, and then you can do 6 times 12, which is 72. So that's it for today. A little bit of a longer video, but great job, everybody. Hope you all have a nice day. I'll send out the All-Star Challenge shortly. Thanks. Bye.